Hi, my name is Devin Guevara. I'm a 9th grader at Stuttgart High and apprentice Sea Scout in Ship 802. This video is part of my Eagle Scout project. I hope you enjoy learning. Wilderness conservation depends on respect for our wild places and the idea that we do not inherit wildlands from previous generations. Instead, we are borrowing these places from the next generation, and that motivates many of us to pursue sustainable recreation that follows the principles of leave no trace. Think about it like this. Developing an outdoor ethic means getting personally involved in wild places because for many, time spent outdoors is a cherished and essential part of life they wish to pass on. The marine flora and fauna is extremely diverse and in some cases sophisticated. It is important to care and do our part for the preservation of marine endangered species. As will be mentioned throughout this video, oil, hazardous material, and garbage pollution are significant factors affecting all living species in the marine environment. Oil spills and water pollution contribute to a lower quality of life for marine species, and in turn, humans. Immense garbage islands are collecting in different locations around the world, with great concentration in the Pacific Ocean. And overfishing also contributes to the development of new endangered species. Among the most endangered animal species are the following 10 animals: Vaquita, whale shark, hawksbill sea turtle, sea otter, blue whale, river dolphins, Florida manatee, Galapagos penguin, Hawaiian monk seal, and Kemp's Ridley sea turtle. Although only animals have been listed here, it is important to remember that there are plants and other species also considered as endangered. Let's start with a problem that has recently presented itself, but has been developing for a long time: aquatic nuisance species, or ANS for short. This image depicts ANS that are mostly in the state of North Carolina. Waterborne invasive organisms threaten the diversity or abundance of native species and the ecological stability of affected waters, or threaten a commercial activity. These nuisance species typically do not have predators and quickly outcompete native species for space and food. ANS hiding in ballast water in ocean-going vessels and the importation of tropical fish that are intentionally or accidentally released cause potential ecosystem disaster. Once here, the aquatic nuisance species use us to get around. They hide in our clothing, boats, and the equipment we use in the water. When boats are moved from one waterway to another, the organisms get a free ride. ANS have caused reductions in game fishing populations, have clogged some lakes and rivers with excessive vegetation, and some have caused damage to boats. ANS are very problematic, but you can help limit their spread. First, you need to learn to identify the ANS in your area. When you see them, you need to report them to your state's Natural Resources Agency. Live wells, bilge water, transom wells, and the motor need to be drained at the ramp or access. Any visible organisms need to be removed from your boat, trailer, vehicle, and other equipment before leaving any body of water. Get rid of unwanted bait on land or in the trash. Never release live bait into the water. Clean all equipment, clothing, and footwear, and do your best to eliminate ANS hitchhikers. Remember, after your next outing, clean, drain, and dry your gear. Next is one of the largest problems across the globe: water pollution. Pollution of the water damages the ecosystem in and around the source. Examples of things that pollute the water are plastics, oil, food wastes, and anything that would not naturally be in the water. There have been many movements to help reduce pollution and the impact of human recreation on bodies of water. In 1948, the U.S. Congress enacted the Federal Water Pollution Control Act to enhance the quality and value of our water resources and to establish a national policy for the preservation, control, and abatement of water pollution. Multiple amendments have further defined the act over time. In 1966, the Clean Water Restoration Act. In 1970, the Water Quality Improvement Act. In 1972, the Water Pollution Control Act amendments. In 1977, the Clean Water Act. And in 1987, the Water Quality Act. Each change was adopted to help remedy a problem with foreign materials in bodies of water, but there is still much to be done. The Federal Water Pollution Control Act prohibits dumping harmful quantities of oil into United States navigable waters or adjoining shorelines. All oil must be disposed of at an approved facility. If a vessel or facility discharges oil, they must notify the U.S. Coast Guard immediately. Failure to do so is punishable by a criminal penalty of fines or up to 5 years in jail, or both, for the person in charge of the source. The owner or operator who discharges the oil is also liable for all removal costs and all claims of loss or injury to other parties. The Environmental Protection Agency has defined harmful quantities of oil as those that violate applicable water quality standards, or cause a film or sheen on the surface of the water, or cause a sludge or emulsion to be deposited beneath the surface of the water or adjoining shorelines. The law also specifies that using soap as a dispersant on an oil spill is illegal and violators can face severe state and federal fines. Things you can do to help include taking preventative measures to ensure no oil can make its way into the water. Keep an oil-absorbent sponge in the bottom of your boat or your vessel's bilge to soak up oil, and have oil-absorbent pads or rags on hand in case of a spill. These products can easily be obtained online as well as specialized boat shops. Be careful when changing engine oil and wipe up any spills so the oil is not pumped overboard in bilge water. On federally controlled waters, vessels 26 feet or longer must display a 5 by 8 inch discharge of oil prohibited placard near the machinery space or at the bilge pump switch. Coast Guard contact information is often included on these placards. On a similar note, garbage is also a foreign object to our waters. Most of the garbage floating in our water or obscuring our shorelines made its way there through street gutters and storm drains, flowing into local streams, creeks, and bayous. The garbage looks bad and is deadly to wildlife and dangerous for boaters. Plastic items foul propellers and clog engine intake systems, causing disabled vessels, expensive repairs, and lost time. The International Treaty to Prevent Pollution from Ships, called MARPOL, was created to address plastic pollution. MARPOL is an abbreviation for marine pollution and was created in 1973. Besides prohibiting the dumping of plastics, the law also restricts dumping of other vessel-generated garbage at sea, including paper, glass, metal, and food wastes. The MARPOL Treaty requires that a vessel 26 feet or longer must prominently display a placard for all crew and passengers to read. Vessels 40 feet and over, equipped with berthing and a galley, must have a written waste management plan. The same law requires marinas to have adequate trash receiving capability for their customers. MARPOL has published a simplified overview of their regulations. There is also a list of special areas where extra regulations are in place. These areas are considered at risk because of either the sensitivity of the environment or the volume of traffic. Although titled Simplified Overview, the table previously shown is confusing. For that reason, there are placards on vessels to help remind both crew and passengers of what is required. Violations of any of the regulations are liable for a civil penalty of up to $25,000 for each violation, and criminal penalties of up to $50,000 and/or imprisonment for up to 5 years. Thank you for watching. To get involved and learn more, consider scouting. Material found in this video reflects Sea Scout Ordinary Rank Requirements 12A through B and Sea Scout Able Requirements 12A through C. Learn about Sea Scouts at seascout.org.